Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Rick Noda, host here of T3 Talks and founder of T3 Body, where we tighten, tactical, and transition. Let's get rid of some of the stuff that we got going on right here. If you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, not once, not twice, and I'm moving it on you on the third time. Also create that thumbs up, you guys. And as I love to say, we're getting followers and followers. I want my studio audience to give a big hand there. Yes, Miss Joanna walked in. Great job, great job. Now this is Nurses Week, you guys, and with it being Nurses Week, I'm a nurse. My wife's a nurse. My daughter's an MA, phlebotomist. My mother-in-law is a pharmacist. So when I talk about being in a medical family or a medical thing, we are definitely there. We're here, and if you know, on Monday, we talked about the condition of mental awareness, and we talked about all the different codes. We don't want to be that white. We don't want to be that black. We want to stay in that nice yellow. We're in that sense of awareness. Also, we talked a little bit about the common cold and how to attack that common cold. We're being proactive about that, which is kind of nice. Again, it's always about rest and hydration and attacking it prior to the onset. We talk about that 3-day window. The other thing is we talked about the stomach, and when your body starts to get feels a little queasy in this, let's regress to what we ate all the way into the morning and start to understand that if we had a piece of chocolate that's got milk in it, that milk, if you're lactose intolerant, will make you fart. Ladies, I have 2 kids. Just go ahead and fart a little bit. It's okay. All right. The other thing is we talked about ankles, twisting your ankle. Again, some of the same protocols that we talked about the common ankle, about how to use the range of motion, how to massage those areas. So what's left? I'll tell you guys. So as I'm sitting down and thinking about what I can talk about the next topic, I was sitting down with Esteban and reminding me of a story. When I joined the Marine Corps, I was soaking wet, 18 years old. And I had never had an incident where I needed first aid. I never had an incident where I actually had to be prepared because, if I played sports, we had an athletic director. If I did something that was a little bit risky, you had a safety officer by you, except for those times I used to jump ramps, you guys. Those are a little bit crazy, that when we used to do that. So to me, first aid wasn't a priority to me because it just wasn't something that, to me, that came up in my daily lives. So when I look at first aid and I look at about getting better, a lot of people, I understand this is not the first thing you want to do. The other thing is, thankfully, you would never have to use this skill set. That's the other thing is, if I'm showing you how to approach someone and a first aid aspect, or when you hurt yourself, if you've never twisted or sprained your ankle, bravo. All right. So that's the nice thing about first aid is it's just a skill set you never have to learn. But with my incident that I'm going to tell you guys and where first aid came into to use was if you look at it, I don't think I forget sometimes, Esteban and Joanna, if I told you this story on video or if it was during the classroom. So, and I think I actually told a story very similar to Randy, and I'm going to kind of mix the two stories together because we kind of have the same scenario. So the first aid situation that I came up with was I was doing a night exertion with one of my units, 5th Battalion, 11th Marines, and what a night excursion means is you're doing everything in the dark. So, you may have night vision goggles, but normally you just know where everything is at because you packed everything in reverse. So Private Smith is unpacking the actual Humvee. He takes the cami pole and goes just like that. Unpacks the Humvee, jumps off the Humvee, and guess what? Private Smith is teetering off that cami pole. Very calm and collect. He goes, Corporal Noda, I think we have a problem. His feet are dangling off the ground, you guys. It's pitch black out. I'm 19 years old. And all I hear in the back of my head is, treat for shock, treat for shock, Treat for shock, because part of what we used to do in the Marine Corps was we used to sit in the chow hall when we were done eating. You would read your first aid life-saving steps. And when it goes, assess the situation, treat for shock. Assess the situation, treat for shock. So as I'm sitting there, this was boot camp. I'm 2 years in the Marine Corps. This is, I don't even remember in my subconscious this part of it. But remember, my sense of awareness, because I'm in an operation, I'm in orange, all right? I know that he's in shock because he's super calm, because you'd expect him to be going, ah! But he's in shock because he can't believe that, thinking about that big is sticking out of him, you guys, and he's not bleeding. So Randy had a similar situation where a guy had jumped on some rebar, and we know it's true because the guys ended up having both had just minimum, sutures and stuff, but they left with no anything, no really organ damage and all that. But so I'm in a sense of orange. This happens to Smith. Now, I haven't treated first aid, in an emergent situation ever, you guys. But I know what to do and the steps to do. So as I treat him as I start to talk to him nice and relaxed, I call him the grid coordinator. I actually delegate someone to call the grid coordinator for a medevac, have them assess the situation. But we have to take him in the Humvee to another landing zone or to the pickup zone. You guys, he's stuck in the ground. He's dangling. How do you sit a guy down in a Humvee? All right, and you still have to set up for the mission, because they don't really care that, and I know they care about Private Smith, but mission accomplishment, troop welfare number 2. So you want to talk about that first aid? What was that mental condition, you guys, that we talked about? Black. You can't get in black where you freeze. You got to stay in that orange. You got to be moving. You got to know about your life saving. You're going to treat for shock. And you got to do it really calm, because you can't do it to Private Smith. That's when Corporal Noda went from like that energy, passionate guy to, hey, dude, how you doing? What's going on? Hey, we're fine, Smith. Don't worry. I'm going to pull out this hacksaw that I got right here, and I'm going to saw that bad boy. Hey, tell me a little bit about, and I remember, he's from Oklahoma. All right? Because I remember tell me about Oklahoma, man. Oh, he talked about his cows, his horses. He talked about all that stuff. Boy, we talked about his girl back home, all that. I knew she was a little large because he made jokes in this, and he's got a pole sticking out of his stomach. We get him to the helicopter, you guys. He takes off. Now, Private Smith's away from my brain. I get back to where I got to go. But that was my first way of using first aid, you guys. Now, fast forward to my kitchen. Armando, my wellness coordinator, is sitting there. He's eating. And I'm sitting here like this. I'm going to move the mic here for a second over this way. All right? And I'm sitting there and I'm cooking. My wife's in the other, right next to Armando. My other daughter is there. And I hear this. What? He goes. He's like this. International language. I get behind him. Huh! He goes. Huh! Thing flies out of his mouth. And I go back to cooking. Didn't even miss a beat. That was a Heimlich maneuver, first aid. Thanks, Randy. All right. Was I in the yellow? Yes, I was, because I was aware of where I was at. Armando, the minute he freaked out, did I go in the black? Nope. Turned around, gave him the Heimlich, and guess what? Turned around and went right back to what I was doing. So it was the muscle memory, the practice that I was able to do from that time. And what I learned, again, throughout my life is practice is what helps me allow myself to get a little bit better. So you guys, when we talk about first aid and we talk about all of these things, let's make sure that we're practicing these different practices. Now, I don't expect everybody to have that scenario like me and Randy had, as a first responder and as a Marine, where their guys are coming out. But let's imagine, and I've got Joanna here in my studio audience as an example, that let's say she's at home and she chokes on a piece of meat and you're by yourself. Most people don't know what to do. But what's nice about that, you guys, is the way to do that is you get your chair, wham, and you literally slam yourself into your chair. So if I'm here and I'm here and I'm choking, I will go, huh, huh. I'll let myself fall on the chair. And I'm going, huh, huh, trying to create that Create that same Heimlich, that movement to pop that out. Now, I'm going to tell you that in my first aid class that Randy shows, he shows that technique. Now, the cool thing about that is when it does happen to you, you're still going to be scared. But the minute that piece of broccoli or something comes out of your throat, you're going to go, wow, I'm alive today because someone cared enough to really show me something that I really thought was unimportant. But I want to stay in the current. So when I say our motivation inspires you to be better, you guys, understand that me and Esteban and Armando here are saying the things that, you know what, they're not glamorous, but they'll save a life. Thanks again, Panic and Coffee House, for allowing me to give me the power and endorsing me with this coffee. So when I say our motivation inspires you to be better, drink that coffee. See you guys soon. Thanks for checking out our videos. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and hit that button right below. Or if you want to check out the latest video right here over my shoulder, go ahead and click that link. If you want to check us out on our social networks, we're at T3 Body Encinitas. That's T3 Body Encinitas. Or shoot me a quick email at info@T3 Body Encinitas, where our motivation inspires you to be better. See you guys soon.